Thank you for listening to the Kyle and Tim podcast, where we have authentic conversations that help cultivate a better understanding of ourselves, our guests, and the world we live in. This podcast is about our guests, getting to know them, their backgrounds, experiences, thoughts, and ideas. We really appreciate you listening. Before we introduce our next guest, we'd like to introduce a few of our sponsors that help make this podcast possible.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Mountain Mule Transportation, located here in Bozeman, Montana. Mountain Mule is a private SUV and truck service, offering chauffeur services in all of southwest Montana. Whether it's your next skiing, hunting, or fishing trip, early morning or late night trips to and from Bozeman Airport, as well as weddings and private parties. No matter the occasion, Mountain Mule will get you there safely and on time. To learn more, visit mountain-mule.com and book today.
Welcome to the Kyle and Tim podcast. Dun, 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 dun. Where we talk about bros and toes and
Let's go.
yeah.
Today's guest is Vicky Kindle. What do we talk about today?
We talked about climbing ropes with her toes.
Yeah.
We talked about
Moving around Wyoming.
We talked about how you can regulate yourself with cutting a lime in half and squeezing it into your mouth on a bad day.
And cold showers. Some business and real estate.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Just being cool.
Me and Kyle sorted through some of our indifferences. Overall, we had a fantastic time. Thank you, Vicky. Enjoy, folks.
Thanks.
Okay, Mike Kindle's wife, we're live. I'm just kidding, but we are live, and my phone's on Do Not Disturb.
So is mine.
Cool.
And it's recording.
Same.
Vicky, thanks for being here.
Vicky, what's your middle name?
Don't say your middle name unless you...
What?
That's private information.
Dude,
Just
what's
share
your middle? What's your social security number?
No.
What's your middle name? You don't have, I guess if you don't have to say it, you don't want to.
What was that?
Your middle name.
Molly and Selena.
Molly and
Amalia
Amalia
and Selena.
and Selena. Okay, two middle names.
Mhm.
Cool. Amalia and Selena. Victoria, Vicky, Amalia and Selena Kindle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Without the aunt.
Okay. Cool.
Good job.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for being here.
Of course.
Okay, so you're Mike Kindle's wife. Know you from the Jujitsu gym. Where did it all start? Where'd you grow up? Where are you from?
I'm from all over Wyoming. So I lived in Lovell for a little while, which is like a small itty bitty town in Wyoming. And then I moved to Powell. And then I moved to Sheridan, and that's where Mike and I met. And then from Sheridan, I moved to Laramie. And from Laramie, we moved here. So all over Wyoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Powell like?
There's not a whole lot going on there, honestly. I think there's like maybe 9,000 people who live there now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot of farm town. Yeah.
How long were you there?
I was in Powell for 8 or 9 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Same with Lovell and Sheridan. I was there for maybe 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Powell's where you were born, or you were raised in that area?
Yeah. Lovell and Powell, mostly.
What do you remember what town Brian grew up in?
I think
Somewhere in
that was
Wyoming.
outside of Cody.
No,
No?
I don't know if it was outside of Cody. I can't, but I know it was in Wyoming. He said the town that he grew up in.
Cheyenne.
I don't know if that's it either.
All right.
That doesn't
Those are the
sound-
towns I know.
He said the town that he grew up in was like if you combined Billings and Great Falls.
Rock Springs?
No, so it was a city, like I'm guessing a smaller city.
Maybe Casper? Does that
I
sound
think
familiar?
Casper. Yeah,
That's the other
Casper.
one I know.
Yeah,
It's
Casper.
got to be that one.
It was Casper. So what was it like? Powell's where you were born, where you spent the first 7-8 years of your life?
Lovell was, and
Lovell.
then I moved to Powell.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what was Lovell like?
A lot smaller than Powell was. I think there's only a couple thousand people who live there, so everybody knows everybody. It was like half of the people who lived there were my family, and the other half were members of the LDS church. So it was an interesting mix.
Mm.
Yeah.
What's the LDS church? Latter-day Saints?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say half of the people were from your family and half were LDS,
Yeah.
can you go into that a little bit? Like you, if there's, so you had 1,000 people in your family, because you said there's 2,000 people at that.
Yeah.
I'm just, so like, explain that dynamic.
Yeah. So my great grandma had 17 kids. And so I knew all of my great grandma's kids. And then all of, so she had 17 kids. One of them was my grandpa. My grandpa had 6 kids. And so like we grew up with all the extended cousins and the extended family.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a lot of people.
What are your
Cool. That's kinda
grandparents?
cool.
What are your grandparents' siblings called to you? Is there a term for it?
Oh, they're my aunts and my uncles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's not, so even if they're your parents' siblings or your grandparents' siblings, it's still aunts and uncles?
Yeah. Yeah.
So would it be like a second aunt, or it's just a,
Yeah, I think it would be considered a second aunt, but
Okay.
we always referred to them as aunts and uncles.
Yeah.
so you had a lot of aunts and uncles from your grandparents, and then
Yeah.
there was all your parents. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
a
you're
lot of people.
What's your heritage?
I'm Hispanic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
My mom and my grandmother and my aunt immigrated to America when I think my mom was like 14 or 15.
Okay.
So I'm like first gen here.
Okay. I guess how did your whole your grandma's side get here? Like they all came too?
Oh no. Some of them, one's in Denver, Colorado. The other one, I think there's 2 in El Paso, Texas, and then the rest are still in Juarez.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, family's originally from Juarez.
Yeah.
All right.
What's
Cool.
Mike's heritage?
He's half white, half Hispanic.
Okay. And you guys aren't related, right?
No. That was actually a little bit of a concern for like 2 seconds because he doesn't know his dad and I don't know mine.
Okay.
And there was some overlap in Colorado with our parents, but we're not related. All is well.
So it's
Got it.
still a concern, but you guys have just stopped thinking about it.
No, it's not a concern anymore.
Just check. I'm not judging. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to talk.
We are not related at all. 0%.
Got it. Okay. So your grandmother had, you said 17 kids.
Yeah.
When did how did I guess does those people come from Colorado to Wyoming or from Juarez to Wyoming?
I'm not quite sure where my great grandmother came from. But I do.
Was it? Oh, I'm sorry. Was it your great grandmother that had 17 kids?
Yeah, my great grandmother.
I'm sorry.
17 kids.
I misunderstood. I thought it was your grandmother.
Yeah, my grandma has 6.
Okay.
A couple through marriage, and then a couple before marriage.
Got it.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
one with her partner, with her husband.
Okay. Got it.
We need a graph or a chart.
Yeah.
I tried to do one once, and I was like, "This is too much."
Right.
That would be fun, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine just connecting dots?
Be huge.
Either way, you had a really big family in Wyoming.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Wyoming and Colorado.
Okay. So, did your family intermix with the LDS folks, or did you just kind of stay separate?
For the most part, they stayed separate. I have a couple of family members who intermixed with the LDS,
Okay.
but for the most part, it was pretty separate.
But did you guys spend time together in normal daily life?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, we were a pretty close knit family, so everything was done with family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got
and
it.
then just random people that they've met. Mostly family.
Cool.
Isn't family really big in Hispanic culture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super big.
So what about school?
Yeah.
Did you go to school in what's the first town?
Lovell.
Did you go to school there?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you were intertwined with the LDS folks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So school, and then I went to school in Lovell till 2nd grade, then moved to Powell. Went to Powell till my sophomore year of high school, and then moved to Sheridan and stayed there until I went to university.
Nice.
Yeah.
What were you like as a young girl?
Got into a lot of trouble.
Did you?
Yeah, not like legal trouble, thank goodness I never got caught, but
that checks out. Because usually girls are smart enough to get away with things. Guys are just like,
she's gonna tell us.
What's that?
She's gonna go to jail after this podcast. She's
oh
gonna,
no,
she's gonna admit to everything.
No, probably not. But no, got into a lot of trouble. Never got caught for it. Did things I shouldn't have been doing, as a teenager does and as a kid does, but probably a little bit more than your normal teenage stuff.
Care to elaborate or no?
I'm gonna ask you too, and you can elaborate if you want. Do you have siblings?
I do.
So what was the age range?
Ooh.
Or is?
I think I'm the oldest. And then there's my sister who is, I think she's 24, 23 now. And then the youngest, I think, is 14 now. And I have 4 sisters.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't raised with them, which is why I'm like, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you want to elaborate on the trouble you got into?
I thankfully never got caught, but when I was younger, I experimented a lot with drugs and hung out with people who were also really struggling in life. I think probably the worst thing I did that I didn't get caught with was I broke into a building and I destroyed some stuff in there, but it wasn't me, and I'm not going to say which building it was. So
okay, yeah.
That's the worst.
Well, yeah, that's one of the worst things I can think of currently that, like, legally speaking, could be pretty bad, but otherwise it was just a lot of like drugs and stealing and yeah.
I mean, that seems like that's pretty prevalent in a lot of small towns all over.
Yeah.
Like that's where I grew up with. That's if you didn't have much to do, and like depending on who you're around, there's just trouble to get into. And you kids kind of left to their own devices and bored, and you generally would get into trouble unless you had some really good role models and you sort of knew what you were doing, and had like really good sports programs or any of the above.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
What do you attribute that to?
Which part?
Well, like you're just stereotyped every small town in America. But and it's fine. I was joking, but like it's fine. I think it's stereotype. There's parts of stereotypes that are true, right? So, like in small towns, people pick up bad habits, and you said it's because of boredom. I think that's probably a lot true, but like I didn't grow up in a small town, so that's why I'm asking you. Like, what do you attribute people picking up bad habits in small towns? Why do you think that happens? If you were to reflect back, like what was going on at the time?
Definitely boredom, and also like where people's families are too. So like if their families are into like the legal system, into drugs, there's domestic violence happening in the household, then typically kids find themselves in similar positions. Yeah, so like boredom, and I feel like it's such a layered situation for most people.
Yeah, let's play a little game.
Okay.
So like, what would it be?
This is not a game show.
What would it be if it wasn't boredom? Because I'm like convinced that it's boredom, because I would be like, okay, boredom, then then I could totally see how like it snowballs. So like, well, then you take this action and you're not bored. And you're like, that's exciting. Mm-hmm. But then that leads to another thing that's exciting. And then you're like, then you could be doing all kinds of bad things. I could see how it snowballs. So I'm kind of convinced that it's boredom, but like, let's go through this game show. And like, what would it be if it's not boredom? Let's just come up with a couple ideas.
Getting needs met. So like stealing to get needs met, whether it's to get like clothes or food or necessities.
Okay. So in small towns, people, maybe there's not a lot of economic activity, like healthy economic activity. So then people are financially depressed.
Yeah.
and so then they have to steal. Okay, that's a good reason.
Family dynamics. Maybe it's normal in the family.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's been maybe their family members have been bored and economically depressed for a while, so that's just normal for them.
Yeah, a lot
Okay.
of family trauma. Trauma is a big thing.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask, just because of your profession, and you said you work with a lot of teens, so maybe you probably see a lot of it firsthand.
Yeah.
What I would say is, if you don't grow up in, say, like a pretty affluent town or city that has good school programs, good sports programs, and you don't have, some parents to model like good behavior, you're sort of really are left to your own devices as a kid. And then, kind of like Vicky said, you're just trying to get your needs met, and you don't know how to do that. You're a kid, so you're just, I don't know, like throwing shit at the wall and seeing if anything sticks. And
and especially if you're a kid, you're like, well, adults too, but like you're looking for an adventure, and if there's not an adventure, like you're gonna find one. You're gonna figure out how to fucking have an adventure, because that's what people do, And when you're a kid, like you're constantly, like the adventure just keeps changing, from year to year to year as you like develop as a young adult. So, yeah, it's probably boredom.
yeah, I get probably like a mix of things, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I feel like community too can be a big part to it too, of like, depending on what your community and the people around you look like, you might be getting into some trouble that you might have not have in the first place.
When you say look like, what do you
mean? So like if the community that you're around, that's what they do to fill their time, is to steal or to, I don't know, just do things that probably won't help with growth, then they're more likely to be part of that environment. Like you are who you surround yourself with, right?
Yeah, it seems like that would go as far as people and environment, as far as your city or town. So if you're in a really clean town, it's well taken care of, people care about how it looks, they're always sweeping the streets, there's nice flowers, and it like kind of promotes health and growth. But if you're in a depressed city that's dirty and there's garbage everywhere and there's despair, that's got to have an effect on your psyche. And I don't know, it's like, and then like the people that are going to be in that environment are going to be an extension of that, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why I have so much empathy for kids or young adults that are born into those situations, because you didn't pick it, you didn't ask for it, and then you're supposed to navigate life with that being that's your essentially your perspective is all based out of that situation, which is usually like can be shitty.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So let's cheer this thing back
exciting
up. Let's get this thing going.
Guys got done.
How the hell did we? How do we get there?
She was saying she would get into trouble.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, you were bored.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah.
Were you?
Layered.
Yeah, it's probably layered. Yeah, it's totally layered. Yeah, everything's layered. All right. So you got bored. You did some shit that you shouldn't have done, and it's all good.
So okay, tell me the first town again.
Lovell.
What is it?
Lovell.
How do you spell it?
Lovell. Lovell.
Okay, so then when you said you're 7 or 8, you leave Lovell, and then you're
in Powell.
Yeah, I need a graph. The graph was for me. So what's it like? Was there any rhyme or reason to why you moved to Powell, and then what's it like when you get there?
Not really. At least none that I know of. We just moved to Powell. I was like 8, so I just went wherever they told me to go and lived there.
Your mom?
My guardian.
Your guardian, okay.
My aunt.
Okay, got it. So your aunt was like, hey, we're getting out of town.
Yeah. And then we moved to Powell, and we lived there until I was in, sophomore year of high school. It was kind of an abrupt move, but we moved.
You don't know the reasoning behind it?
Behind moving from Lovell to Powell?
Yeah.
I could probably guess that it was to get some space away from some of the family, just because our family there was a lot of hardships and struggles with it,
Mhm.
and a lot of unhealthiness. So I think part of it was to just get some space from some of that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Get rid of some of those layers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good on your aunt for like, trying to make something change.
Yeah.
So your aunt was your guardian. Was she just your guardian? Any of your sisters too, or just you?
Just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was just you and your aunt that went there.
Me, my aunt, and her kid.
Okay.
And she had a son who was older than me.
Okay.
So we grew up together.
Are you guys close? Are you still in contact?
No, I don't have any contact with any of my family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you like to do growing up? Like, what were some of the fun things that you did?
Besides drugs. Because you could stop right there. It's a fun time.
You could.
I really like to do sports. So like softball, I did a lot. Basketball, volleyball.
What were you best at?
Probably maybe volleyball.
Okay.
Maybe basketball. I don't know.
Okay.
Pretty
Maybe
even.
it was a tie.
Yeah, pretty even.
Who's your favorite basketball player?
I don't have a favorite basketball player.
Okay.
I don't really watch basketball anymore, or am very in tune with it. Yeah.
Favorite basketball player growing up?
I don't have one.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
All right, so you played volleyball and basketball.
Yeah.
Played it for a long time,
And
or
softball.
just a few years?
Don't forget about
A
softball.
long time.
softball too.
Yeah, a long time. Up
Okay.
until I was a freshman in high school, and then I moved away from it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Snowboarded. Did a little bit of archery.
Where did you snowboard? Where did you snowboard? Like what mountain was close by?
Red Lodge.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah. So
All right.
it was like hour and a half, 2 hour drive.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's a lot of fun.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, snowboarding is always fun. Okay, so you made a trip to like go snowboarding for the day or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you still snowboard much now?
No, not really.
What the hell? Does Mike snowboard or no?
No, he doesn't.
Not now.
Bro,
Yeah.
fix your
Not
MCL
now.
and let's go.
Right? That'd be cool. He really wants to try it, but we got really, really busy. Got really honed into jujitsu and aerial.
And what?
Aerial. I do aerial arts.
Okay, you have to explain that.
So like trapeze, lyra, hammock, silks.
Okay.
Things like that. Do you know what those are?
No.
Oh,
You're like hanging from the ceiling with these like ropes and shit?
Yeah.
I see. I've seen this. I
So
vaguely
that's
know what this
it's
is.
like okay, so it's aerial arts. Is it? I'm gonna butcher this, but this is how my brain works.
Okay.
Is it somewhat kind of like gymnastics, but it's like art gymnastics? Like because you're
Kind of, yeah.
you're like being an acrobat in the air in a
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How long you been doing that?
Almost 3 years.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
How the hell did you get into that? You're like, I'm gonna fucking do this. How did you do that?
It was kind of random, actually. I was on a school. Oh no.
It's all right.
I was on a school break.
What did we lose?
She just dropped her phone.
Sorry. I was on a school break during college, and I saw a paper. It was a flyer in a coffee shop, and I was like, what the hell is that? And I called her, and I found out what it was, and I just kept going. So here we are.
Cool.
Yeah, I love it.
So you still do that here?
Yeah, I do
Nice.
it here. Yeah.
Do you feel like that complements or helps with jujitsu?
Yeah, I think so. They're very different muscles and different things, but I think they're really similar in the fact that they're both really hard. And so you have to kind of just keep moving with the hardness and with the challenges. But yeah.
You must need a lot of body control though, right? And body
Yeah.
awareness.
Oh yeah. Otherwise you'll fall from the ceiling.
Because they always say that people
You,
that do,
say that again.
You'll fall from the ceiling.
Is there any way to like prevent yourself from falling from the ceiling?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hold on.
Hold on, and body awareness.
Okay.
Yeah. I've fallen twice. But
from
not
how high?
maybe from this ceiling, so not too far.
Sounds exactly like jujitsu, just dangerous and
Yeah.
yeah.
How many people are doing it at the same time?
Like what do you mean?
Like, is it just one person at a time? Is it like there's a bunch of people in the same, like in a big room doing it?
Oh yeah. Our classes are like 6 to 8 people,
Okay.
and there's typically 3 setups, so 3 people go at a time.
Dude, I want you to try this out. Check
You
it out.
should.
Sounds cool.
It's a lot of fun.
You're super excited about it.
I love it.
Cool.
Yeah. Starting to learn what they call rope. So it's like a giant rope that just is hooked from the ceiling, and then you can climb up it and do tricks on it and do drops on it. But there's this one climb that's really interesting where you use your big toe and your second toe. Sorry. You use your big toe and your second toe, and you use your toes to climb up the rope. And that's
Yeah, you got to have so
interesting.
much strength from it too.
Yeah, it's really weird too. Because then you're like,
So
oh, yeah.
can you climb a rope with your feet?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Isn't it?
What, dude?
How
You
many
just blew my mind.
how many gold medals have you won in jiu-jitsu competitions?
0.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just figured you were fucking everyone up with your strength. And how about silver?
I got 1.
Exactly.
1 silver and 1 bronze.
See,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. But I was just like, I imagine you're very strong, and like, if you're not already just dominating, you're.
Are you choking people out with your toes?
No. It'd be cool though. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do a lot
Okay.
of weightlifting.
How long
too.
did it take you to climb the rope with your feet? Like because it's not something you just like do. Or-
yeah.
Is it?
So I was doing aerial for 2.5 years before I did the rope. I just recently started doing rope like 2 months ago, and the second time I was on the rope, I was climbing it with my toes.
Whoa, dude.
It's kind of weird, isn't it? It's kind of wild.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's really cool.
I think the most fun part of aerial is all of the drops. So like when you're up in the air, drops are when you like let go and it looks like you're falling, but you're not because you have control.
Interesting.
We got to look this shit up.
Yeah.
I've only seen it so passively. Like I feel like I've seen it in the background, but I haven't paid attention. But I'm sure it's very cool art to watch.
I thought hippies only did it.
Yeah, you just said you wanted to do it.
I know, but she's changing my mind.
What's wrong with a hippie?
All kinds of stuff.
You're thinking of hipsters.
where do
Hippies are usually cool.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still things wrong with them. Like, where do you want me to start?
Are
Just
you
whatever,
stereotyping hippies?
Yeah, all hippies.
I am.
Acts like shit. Like taking a shower is the only thing that your personality is accounted for.
What?
So do you act like taking a shower is the only thing that your personality is accounted for?
I don't understand what that means.
Because hippies don't take showers.
Oh, okay. Now I got you.
Okay, so let's see. I'm going to get this right. So you're in Powell. You've now moved to Powell, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Powell.
Is there anything like formative or that you remember from that experience while you lived in Powell that was exciting or noteworthy?
Not really. No. It's kind of boring. Not much to do. A lot of walking around town.
Were you getting in a lot of trouble there?
Yeah, that's actually where a lot of the trouble started.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Like that year range from 8 to, you said like 15, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you're a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And like you're getting into some trouble, and then you move to Sheridan?
Yeah.
Okay. What was that move like?
The move itself was chaotic, but Sheridan was good.
Okay.
Yeah, Sheridan was good.
Chaotic in what way?
I didn't know I was moving to Sheridan until we moved. Yeah.
And you went with your aunt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They like they're a whole thing, but her and her partner decided they were going to move to Sheridan, but didn't tell me, and they left the house for 6 months. So I was unsupervised for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're
then
15.
they came and picked me up and then took me to Sheridan.
And you didn't have any
like a day.
communication in between?
No.
Okay.
And you're 15. So I'm trying to think of what is this, like 2013, 14?
Yeah, 2013.
It's like, do you have a
2015.
cell phone or anything? Do you have any communication with them? Like,
I have a cell phone, but no communication with them. They didn't talk to me for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was weird.
So did they own the house? Because if they just left you in the house, or were you still living with them there?
I was still living with them there, but they didn't own the house. We were renting it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
How comfortable are you talking about this experience?
Eh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how.
Yeah, we're not.
Question.
We're not.
I don't want.
pry
We're
it out
not
of
trying
you.
to pressure
Yeah,
you, but
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Like,
so you get
like some of it I'm okay with talking about, but other parts of it feel very vulnerable. So it feels uncomfortable to talk about.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to talk about it.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we don't need to push too hard, and
No
and also
worries.
like, if there's things that you want us to take out, we can take anything out.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank
But your
you.
reputation as Mike Kindle's wife is weighing on this podcast. So
You hear that, Mike Kindle? Your reputation is weighing on this.
and his, so
And
not just.
yeah.
So it's not just about you. It's also about Mike. So don't let your selfishness get in the way of Mike's reputation.
Okay.
Just kidding. Clearly.
Oh, I love him. He'll think that's funny.
So I hope as at some point when Mike's listening to this, I know he's smiling. So that's all that matters.
Oh yeah.
This
oh,
is for
yeah.
Mike Kindle smile.
Mike Kindle is Vicky Kindle's husband.
Yes.
There we go.
MMA Mike.
Mike who? Mike who? Okay. It's funny because I noticed you were saying okay so, and I say it all the time, and I think we're probably just picking up each other's idiosyncrasies from too much time together.
Yeah. And
And
Okay.
now that you've moved to Sheridan, what's it like there?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. It's a lot of ranchers, a lot of farmers, but overall it was good. Nothing. That's where I met Mike.
I was going to say, that's an exciting question. How did you meet Mike?
That's where we met, actually.
How did you guys meet?
So let's see. So the first time I saw Mike, I told my friends that was going to be my husband's. I didn't even know his name. And then shortly after, we kind of connected, and he asked me out on a date.
wow.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I know.
Locked it down.
Yeah, I did.
When you know, you know.
That's it.
When you know, you know.
What was it like moving? I would imagine what was it like moving and you go to a new school. It's like, I would imagine it's like nerve wracking because you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like now I have to meet all these new people.
Yeah.
It's like scary to go to a new school. What
yeah.
was that like?
Oh, it was scary. And it was definitely like terrifying, but like, I feel like Sheridan was the place where I kind of kept my nose down there for my whole time there. And I didn't try to connect with people. I was more close with the teachers than I was with people there. I made one really good friend out of Sheridan.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I focused a lot on my academics, and I worked and I went to school, and that's all I did.
Okay. Yeah. So you were more focused.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think you were like protecting yourself in a way?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you were just like quiet and like didn't go out of your way to like maybe socialize or over socialize.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How much bigger was Sheridan from Powell?
Much bigger. Yeah. I think Powell's 9,000 people, and then Sheridan was 20,000 people.
So you're and you went to high school in Sheridan?
Yeah.
So there's a much bigger high school?
Oh, much bigger. Oh, yeah.
And is Mike in school then too, or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike
so is that where you first saw him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
In the hall at lunch.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
Brother bear. Okay, so how's you and Mike relatively soon after meeting start dating?
Yeah.
And then what do you guys do?
You guys are 15, 16?
Yeah, 15, 16.
How old is Mike?
15, 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are the same age?
Yeah, I'm 10 days older than him.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, yeah, super close in age.
You know how they say about them older women.
Yeah.
I know.
10 days. Okay.
I know.
Sucks to be Mike, what's his name? 10 days younger.
I know. He likes those older women.
Hey. So you guys start dating. What do you guys do? Like, what do you guys do for fun? You guys are both in high school. That's so
Yeah.
crazy that you guys have, because you guys have been together over 10 years now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over 10 years and married for 6.
Cool.
Congratulations on
That's
that.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. He's awesome. He's my best friend.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Is he that you said like you had got one really good friend out of that? Were you talking about Mike, or do you have another good friend there?
Oh, 2.
Okay.
If we're including Mike, but no, my other friend was Colleen, and I still talk to her.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But
So what do you and Mike do? Like did you both graduate there?
I did.
Okay.
He didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you guys just continued to live there for a while once you guys are dating.
Yeah, we stayed there for 3 years after high school. Mostly for my college. I got into the college there, and I went there for 2 years and took a year off, and then we moved to Laramie. Yeah.
And you and Mike never trained in Laramie, did you, or no?
No, we didn't start till we moved here, which
Okay.
I'm really grateful for.
So he,
Why is that?
Because like Jujitsu is awesome, the community is great.
Okay, so I thought you were saying you were grateful that you didn't start in Laramie or something like that.
Oh, I didn't have time in Laramie.
What were you doing?
I was working full time. I was at my internship part time, and then I was doing school full time. So I had like 100 plus hours every week that I had to be at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So didn't really have time for much
No,
hobbies.
not when you're working 100 hours a week. You don't have time for anything.
No, not at all.
So Mike went, and Mike was just working full time while you guys were there in Laramie.
We both were, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you remember about Laramie? It's funny because I spent some time in Laramie, not a lot, but I always remember that time. Like, what do you remember about it? What do you like about it? What do you hate about it?
The wind sucks. It's always windy in Laramie, like every day. They had a couple of really good restaurants there. I really love the snowies. The snowy mountains are pretty cool. We got really into mountain biking over there, which, yeah.
Do you guys still mountain bike much now or no?
Not really. I was injured this last summer, and now he's injured. And then jujitsu takes up all of our time, but we still have our mountain bikes, so
you could get back into
it.
I'll keep that in mind.
How sweet. Do you mountain bike?
I mean, yeah, not much, but yeah, I bought a new bike this spring and
sick.
a new used bike, and like,
yeah,
I still didn't go out much more than I did before, but
yeah,
it's a fun bike.
You should go.
Yeah, that's all. I'll keep it in mind.
We should do it in the spring. Yeah, not a lot, but I'd like to get into it more. But there's so many things to do here that like I have a hard time picking and choosing them.
Right. Oh yeah.
So yeah,
so many things here. Cool.
And then you add jujitsu on top of that, and I know that firsthand. Just it takes up so much time, and it's so good for you and addicting. And
oh yeah,
yeah.
And then you just get to see your friends, so it's like play all the time. It's hard not to.
That's how I've described it. It's like get out of high school, and I didn't even go to high school, so I wouldn't even know. But you get to see your friends every day when you go to school, and then you're an adult, and now you get to go see your friends every day, and you get to fight. Like, what's more fun than that?
It's so much fun.
It's the two most fun things,
honestly,
any adult child would want to do.
Oh their time. Yeah, it's. Why don't you do it?
I'm not that cool.
One day.
I don't want to beat everybody.
Do you see red?
No.
And they wouldn't know what to do.
I'm a pretty relaxed guy.
Do you see red? That's funny.
No, I mean, I could get aggressive, but like I would probably immediately get hurt when that happens.
Oh yeah.
Kyle saw red and kicked me in the face and gave me a black eye.
So it was an accident
during his intro period.
It was an accident for sure. We were like literally doing like a slow motion drill.
How do you manage that?
I'm pretty good.
Oh, I knew it.
You're doing the one when you're sitting in somebody else's guard and you just like swing your legs from one side to the other. It's like a hip drill.
Oh yeah.
It's just sort of for like guard recovery.
Yeah.
So
I smacked him with my heel.
Like swinging to the left, swinging to the right. And I'm just sitting there on my knees because he's like, he's the one in the open guard, and then his heel just catches me right in the sun. Just like the way it caught like went across, so just like perfect black eye.
Oh,
Like I barely
no.
felt it when he did it, but like just the way his like it was just perfect. Just like I was shining for like 2 weeks.
Nice.
It's pretty
Nice.
funny.
Good job.
So I that was
That
it.
takes some real skill.
Then I was like, I'm done with jujitsu.
Really?
No, I'm joking. No, I just I haven't. It didn't catch on for me.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
fair.
might go back and do it again. But
I think if we have enough people on this podcast that do jujitsu, we could potentially slowly over time indoctrinate Kyle.
Yes.
Which is it's
possible.
not a good cult if you can't indoctrinate somebody.
I
Honestly.
will say that I have some significant concerns about injuries.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody that comes on the show is also talks about like there all these injuries that they get. So like
Fair.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's
And Tim talks about his joints and how he's like 150 years old now.
No, that's not. I actually feel younger than I ever have in my life, and I have some significant concerns about people that make excuses.
oh yeah.
But anyway, that's for another day.
I like
So-
how you slid that one in there.
Yeah, as long as I can. You've obviously
I
you picked up on the tension that's been.
I have some
Yeah.
significant concerns about that fidget spinner in his hand.
Yeah, well, you should have, and that should be the least of your concerns.
Anyway, this podcast is about Vicky.
Me and Kyle are going through some marital disputes, and we're trying to vent them in mid-episode.
I can help.
We brought you here to solve our problems.
You're here for us, not you or the listeners.
Sweet.
Where were we? Were we in Sheridan or were we in
Laramie.
Laramie?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
windy.
It's windy.
Working. What are you doing for work, and what's Mike doing for work there?
Yeah, so at Laramie, I worked as an advocate for people with disabilities for about a year, and then I transferred into working at a residential treatment facility for youth. They were ages 8 to 19. So I did that for a little over 2 years. So the rest of my time in Laramie, I did that. And then I also did a little bit of CNA work, but I moved away from
CNA?
that. Yeah.
What's that?
Certified nursing assistant.
Okay.
Yeah, I did that for 6 years, but as soon as I moved to Laramie, I kind of started to transition away from it.
What did you get your? What would you took classes and went to school? What did you get your schooling in or degree in or?
Yeah, so I got my degree in social work, so I have my master's in social work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a master's in social work, and now you're a therapist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went and like got a certification to be a therapist.
Yeah.
Or is that's different than that? I guess it's in addition to your master's in social work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like master's in social work. You get that, and then you do 2 years, about 2 years of clinical supervision work. So that ends up being 3,000 hours. And then after your 3,000 hours, then you can apply to be licensed fully.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you can practice without having a supervisor.
Got it.
Yeah.
And you were doing a lot of that work in Laramie, like a lot of that, like I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out is you were working 100 hours a week. And so like some of that was your internship, some of that was your school.
Yeah.
Maybe some of that was your job.
Yeah. Yeah. I did 40 hours at my job at the residential treatment facility.
Okay.
Yeah. And then part-time. So like 15, 20 hours at my internship, which was at a behavioral health psychiatric unit. And then I did my grad school. So.
Okay.
Very busy.
Yeah.
Very busy times.
Super.
So those hours, you said you have to have 3,000 of experience so you can practice on your own?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what state those are in, because are they different in every state, sort of the regulations?
They're different in every state, but it's depending on which state you're in, it can be 2,000 up to 4,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you do anything that's like telehealth, or is it all in person?
I do some telehealth, but I definitely prefer in person.
And do they have to be in the state, anyone you work with?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have to be in the state. I don't have to be in the state, but they do.
I got you.
Yeah.
I was just curious how that works legally for people when they like if you can see patients outside the state or if they can.
Oh yeah.
So they have to be essentially a resident of the state to work with you.
Yeah, as long as they're in Montana, they don't have to be a resident, but as long as they're in Montana, I can work with them. But if they're like Colorado, Wyoming, anything like that, then I can't unless I'm licensed there too. So
It's just got to be an interesting kind of gray area of now with technology because people do so much stuff
oh yeah.
remotely. So it's
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of. I don't like rules, and I don't like dumb ones,
Yeah.
and so that seems like a dumb one,
Oh, it
right? Because
definitely is.
because like you're talking to somebody, right? And so like,
Yeah.
let's say you have a client that you're. I'm sure this is a gray area, right? But like, you start with them and it's in person, and you're both are in Montana, right?
Yeah.
But then they're on vacation or they're in Colorado for the week, and you're like, okay, well, let's just do our call on over a share screen or whatever video.
Mhm.
And so then, I guess technically you're not really allowed to do that, right?
Mhm.
But like, you can't have a conversation. Like, how does the government keep you from having a conversation, right? And
Right.
so that bothers me because that seems dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's a dumb rule.
It is. It definitely is. Because, like you said, like if they're in Colorado for a vacation, it doesn't make sense not to be able to see them. But whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting because like a lot of the systems that are set up are to benefit and protect people at the same time too.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's like legal stuff within that sort of protects the patient as far as confidentiality and just safety, because if it's not regulated and you're giving just unsolicited advice to like, and you have no expertise, so you're giving essentially terrible advice. So I understand why the system exists.
Yeah.
To an extent.
So that like if somebody's out of state in that scenario, then like the state can't protect that person or kind of certify that the other person is actually doing their job, right? They have no like jurisdiction, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
However, they're not really protecting anybody by either way, right? Like,
yeah, I think, I don't know, and this is like would almost turn into a political discussion, but like the rules and regulations should evolve as technology does.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
But like I understand and respect why it was there in the first place. But we all deal with that. It can be so goddamn annoying sometimes, just things that are so outdated,
Mm-hmm.
and the government moves at the speed of the government. So it's like things don't change, and then we're doing things that are archaic with the technology we have.
Right.
So do you know, and yeah, this, like I said, this will become a totally different discussion. Do you know if there's a state that you get licensed in? I know if you get a pistol permit in Utah, it's good in about 22 states.
Okay.
I wonder if there's a Utah of mental health therapy that you can get a license in, and now you can practice in 30 states. So I didn't know if there.
No, unfortunately, no. You have to go through each state to get licensed in that state. Some of their regulations are a little bit different, especially after COVID. So some states will allow you to have like a 3-month period time of being licensed within their state without having to go through all of the processes of licensing. But they're like very far and few in between. I think there's maybe 5 states that allow that. But yeah, otherwise you have to again apply to the state, get approved, show that you're allowed to practice, which is just a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I wonder how, because I'm sure you've heard of like BetterHelp, which we all have. I'm assuming that so that's all just still local to that state.
Yeah.
I wonder, it'd be cool if one state could figure out a way to do that, to get licensing that you could be in so many states, because I'd imagine that benefits Utah so much, because so many people go there to get that permit, so they can have it in all the other states, and then it probably makes them so much, I would assume, but I don't know.
Or they should just come up with like a federal test and be like, hey, here's a federal test and exam and process, and then across the whole US you can do this if you go through these steps. So you have to like go through this like big process one time and you're done.
It's probably so hard to get.
Oh my God, what a crazy idea. Fucking make it efficient. Jesus
yeah, but
Christ.
could you imagine like trying to get 50 states to
Fucking
get
A, dude, figure it out.
Yeah, I know, but that's like
it's like we're
like
just trying to help people here. Come
Right.
on.
this is already turning
That's
into a political
It's not
discussion. No,
I don't think
it completely is though, because
I don't think it's political. It's efficiency.
yeah,
It's
but I
not-
think that like the reason you live in a certain state is because of the way that state is governed, and you like it.
Oh, okay. I see
So
what
you're
you're
like, this is what I. So if you try to get 50 to all do the same thing, and then like, that's a dictatorship. You're making us all do this. Like,
Okay,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Mm.
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, so how's work going?
It's going good. It's going good. I'm transitioning into private practice, so I'm essentially starting my own practice, and so that's
Good
been
for
really
you.
Yeah,
exciting.
you've had like a really. This is fairly recently.
This is
right?
awesome.
Oh,
you've-
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, my first day, like official day within my office, completely solo, is the 13th. So I'm really excited about that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank
Soon,
you.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Can-
Good for you.
Woo-hoo.
Look at you going
Do you
out
have
on
a-
your own.
So do you have a name for your own, like what you're doing?
I do. It's called
Vicky
Hyalite.
Vicky Mike Kindle's therapy. Wife.
Vicky and
Mike
MMA Mike Kindle is therapy.
MMA Mike Kindle's wife.
Yes.
Therapy.
Okay, we'll stop fucking around.
No,
now.
really?
What is it really
Yeah,
called?
what is
It's called Hyalite Counseling.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Sweet. Can I, if you want, but like we'll put
Yeah.
that in the we'll put that in the title with your name.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You have a
Thank you.
website?
No, I don't plan on it either.
Okay.
Yeah. I've heard that sometimes when you have a website that you get way too many referrals coming in and it can be a lot to try to keep up with.
Okay.
And right now I'm pretty okay with clients. So
Okay. If there's anything we can put in the intro to plug it, like maybe you don't want that. So if not, you
Cool.
just tell us what you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So what were you doing prior to this? You were working under someone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's essentially they have like a roster, I guess, because I don't know the proper term, a roster of therapists, and then that's how your referrals come in, is through them.
Yeah.
So you're an employee of them, essentially.
Yeah.
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 My cousin Sarah, I'm pretty close with. She does the same thing, and she's sort of, I know she's been like branching in between both of just doing stuff on her own or underneath other.
Yeah.
What do you call it? I want to call them a firm.
Practices.
Other firms, other law firms, other practices.
Other outfits.
That's cool.
Oh, I'm so excited.
What's exciting for you about it?
I really like business. So like just the process of starting a business and watching it grow, and
Mhm.
also having a little bit more autonomy over who's on my client list, and also like how many clients I see too.
Mm-hmm.
And because then I can provide better care for the people who I'm working with, as
Mhm.
opposed to having like all of these like policies and procedures and like caseload expectations, and on top of meetings and all of the bureaucracy stuff. Instead, it's just me, my clients. How do I support them better? So that's really exciting for me.
Yeah, that independence is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pardon
Good for
my
you.
French, but fuck yeah.
Yeah,
that's
fuck
awesome.
yeah.
Like cut out the middleman, and like, not that I get it. There's a time and a place for everyone and for everything in that, but when you just say, hey, this is my deal. I'm already doing this, and
Yeah.
good for you for taking a chance on yourself.
Thank you. I
Yeah, hell yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like I think, if you think back not that long ago, you were grinding out 100 hours a week, and look at you now.
Yeah.
It took a long time, right? Or like take a long time. Like everything, I think good takes a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe not everything, but like most things take a lot of work and a lot of effort, and so good for you for like kind of chipping away at it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's really cool.
Woohoo.
I want to back up because I know
Yeah.
we're now talking about current time in Bozeman,
Yeah.
but How long ago did you guys move to Bozeman?
2.5 years ago.
Okay. So Mike, I don't know, like obviously you'll know the story better than I'm going to recall it, but Mike was essentially saying like, I said like, God damn it. Trying really hard not to say like. Mike was saying precisely that you guys, that he had some turning point where he got into so much better shape and turned his life around and got into jujitsu. And he was giving you so much of the credit for being just the influence in his life and encouraging this. I think just working out in general and then the jujitsu. So, I mean,
So what did you do?
yeah, what did you tell us what you did?
If he's gonna give you the credit, you better take it.
That's so
Yeah.
sweet.
You better take it and then you better explain
Yeah.
where did this, like somebody had to have influenced you or you worked your ass off to influence yourself and you pushed that up on Mike, and I'm sure you guys bounced off each other a lot for support, but tell us what the hell, how'd you do it?
Just one day I was like, we're going to the gym and you
That's
can
right.
come
He
or
said
you
that.
don't have to come, but I'm gonna go do this and you can do it or you don't have to. And,
How did you make the decision?
well, I used to be pretty fit and then I got fat and then I looked at myself in the mirror in Nicaragua one day. I was at a service trip. There were no mirrors for like 2 weeks of that service trip.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked in the mirror and I went, holy shit, who is that?
Mm-hmm.
Realized I got really fat and unhealthy. And shortly after that, I was like, okay, like something here needs to change. And so that was kind of the turning point for myself in terms of wanting to go back to the gym or get healthy and exercise more and be kinder to my body. And then I was like, you're coming or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And
because you were going to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, I'll come.
Yeah. And then he got more hooked to it than I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he got fucking annoying about it.
Did he or is he? No.
No, a guy that works out every day, does jujitsu every day, there's definitely nothing annoying about. I would know. They'll tell you that they do it too if you don't know.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
So it was just just the gym lifting weights, or
yeah.
And did this started in Laramie or this started here in Bozeman?
It started in Laramie.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So you guys just started like running or biking at the gym or like the elliptical.
Yeah, started learning different exercises, mostly from like Instagram, Facebook, whatever information we could access on how to do different lifts, what's good for what, and kind of taught ourselves what would be helpful for us.
And you could go like an hour a day or 2 hours a day. Or
2 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot, right? To go from like 0 to 2 hours. And maybe it didn't happen like immediately, but people don't have 2 hours a day, right? And so then it's like, oh, well, okay, how do you get 2 hours a day? Like, do you wake up earlier? Do you go to sleep later? Do you, and then when I say people don't have 2 hours a day, most people do. They're just super inefficient or they're wasting their time. So then you probably had to cut out like all these bad habits too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I would argue people definitely do have 2 hours a day.
Oh yeah.
Totally. And so they say that they don't, right? And I think people can cut out 2 hours of just worthless stuff really easily. Mm-hmm. And then there's probably 2 more hours of stuff that you can just like cut out 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and you can find another 2 hours, which is a lot harder. But I've always been like the idea of like, just get up earlier, go to sleep earlier, go to sleep on time, get up earlier.
Yep.
And like do that in small increments. Get up 15 minutes earlier. And then after 2 weeks, get up 30 minutes earlier. And then after 2 weeks, get up another 15 minutes earlier.
Oh yeah.
So you don't have to, it's not like you don't do it all in one day.
No, typically not. At least that's not how change stays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, if I could do 100+ hours at work, internships and school and still have 2 hours a day, I hear you when you say you can make 2 hours happen or you can even make an hour happen. Like if you really want it, you can make it happen.
100%. Yeah.
And I'm going to keep pestering you about this though.
Yeah.
How do you like who do you accredit? And maybe it was no one specifically. Maybe it was an influence of social
You can
media.
also say yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that you totally can, because it
Okay.
might have just been, and like, you know, you could also say whatever you want, but sometimes, like, I'm sure you notice this if you're a therapist. Sometimes it's kind of the opposite of what's around somebody that motivates them. I'm sure there's an actual term for that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's negative reinforcement or positive reinforcement, but if everyone's in terrible shape and not taking care of yourself, you're kind of, you know, fuck this, I'm gonna do something. Or there's
Yeah.
someone around you that says, hey, try to take care of yourself, yada yada. So I just didn't know if there's anything that sticks out.
Yeah, so definitely I think part of it was my family and not wanting to be like my family. So there was that piece. And then also I had a lot of really cool mentors growing up, whether they were teachers or the parents of my friends who were like super good influences on me. And then, yeah, so just all of these people that I built relationships with who, like, looking back, I think I was like, I want to be like you, or I want like the security in self like you do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I think all of those years and all of those interactions with all those different people really helped encourage, or at least give some sort of a sight on where I wanted to go.
Yeah, there's something.
And now she climbs ropes with her toes.
I
That is so cool.
There's some statistic, and I'm totally making this up, but I've just heard it, that if the person you're married to, or who is your partner, significant other, if they're really out of shape, the chances of you becoming out of shape are so high.
Oh yeah.
But it's a two-way street. I know it's unfortunate, but I think humans just have more of a negative bias. So it's more like it's a stronger chance that you become out of shape if your partner's in shape than you become in shape if they're in shape. But the likelihood of it is much higher, like that you be in shape if your partner is, obviously, than isn't, just because just the association of being next to that person, and you pick up all their habits unconsciously.
Oh yeah.
That's just so cool for you and Mike. I'm so happy for both of you that you guys have that rapport and chemistry, that you guys like have essentially made each other better. Yeah.
He's awesome. I love him.
Yeah. I mean, he said, and that's what I told him is probably what drew me to him and like him, is that he was a dick to a lot of people when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's how I was. And I'm not joking. I wish I was. It's funny. I am joking because it's funny, but I said, oh, that's probably what I saw in you that I liked about you. But there is that, like, and like, that's probably half the people in an MMA gym.
Yeah.
But there's that sort of understanding. But I also think that when people are huge assholes, that they have the capacity to be the biggest hearted people at the same time. They're just they're directing it all negatively because that's what they learned.
Yeah.
But I think they have the same emotional power to be the most inspiring people in the world too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like, you and Mike have, like, both of you have been so, like, just, I'm so lucky to know both of you, because you guys are just good people, and like, you're always trying to get more people to go to the investor group or come over and watch fights, or the oh my god, I get this wrong every time I want to say empanadas, to have your tamales. I don't know why I just want to say empanada, but anyway, like, it's just very cool that you guys have built that relationship and for each other and everyone else.
We love all of our community and we love each other, and all we want to do is like share the love and the care with everybody that we know, and we want everybody to grow with us rather than not. And if they're not ready to grow, then that's okay too. But
get the fuck away from us.
But it's like, at least they know that we'll welcome them with open arms when they are ready, because we were there once too.
Yeah, it's felt and appreciated for sure. You guys, I didn't say like, it's a miracle. Staring into the heavens. Why did you guys leave Laramie, and then what was it? How was it when you got to Bozeman?
Yeah, so we left Laramie with a 10-day notice. which is interesting because our life would have been completely different if we would have stayed in Laramie. So we were like, I was getting ready to transition into a therapist role at the residential treatment facility that I was working at. And so I was getting ready for that. And then we were going to start a food truck and had gotten all the business stuff taken care of for that, had a business loan, and had just gotten approved for a business loan for like the truck and all of the things for the truck. And then I think it was within 24 hours of getting that, Mike got a call from his job asking him to transition up here to Bozeman with a significant raise. And so we said, fuck it. And we came up here and we moved within 10 days and found a place. It was when everybody else was moving here too. So finding a place was awful, but we found one.
Because this is post-COVID.
Yeah. This was when everybody was coming, and found a place, and that's how we ended up here.
What was the truck going to be?
It was going to be
Kyle's interested.
a little Mexican truck.
Was it going to be tamales?
Tacos.
Okay.
Maybe tamales every now and again.
All right.
But
Kyle's really interested right now.
Just say, dude,
You'll have to come over for fight night sometime.
That sounds great.
Kyle, what's your favorite kind of food?
I mean, Mexican food's up there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, come over.
I'm a burrito guy.
Burritos are good.
I'm a burrito guy.
Like a carne asada burrito, or
yeah. I mean, Southern California is like the burrito capital of the world. So
yeah.
Oh, that's it. This could totally go off in a different direction. But Vicky, what's the best Mexican food in your opinion? In your opinion. Nobody. Don't we get too defensive? We got like 10. We got 10 listeners out there that might get triggered. But what do you
triggered?
Think, what do you think is the best Mexican food in Gallatin Valley?
You're about to get triggered by a therapist.
In Gallatin Valley?
Yeah, or in the greater Bozeman area.
My house.
Okay, second to your house, which isn't serving to the public.
That's a hard one because there's like, maybe the white taco bus off of 3rd.
3rd?
I think it's 3rd.
7th.
Right? 7th? Yeah, 7th.
Rodeo?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one you like?
That's the one we like.
What do you get there?
Tacos.
Okay.
Carne asada tacos.
Okay.
Keeping it simple.
Where's that one?
It's off 7th. It's like literally right next to the gym. On the gym you used to go to.
MMA gym?
Oh, no.
Son of a bitch. Access.
Yeah.
Is it in that parking lot?
It's like 50 yards from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like on the edge of the parking lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I've never gone to that one.
That one's good. There was another one, but they're not Mexican food. La Vaca Mariposa. That one has pretty good food. It's
That's
not Mexican food.
Salvadorian?
Yeah, I think so. Or Ecuadorian. One of the two. But really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who was Mike working with when he got the job here?
Rib and Chop House.
Okay.
Yeah. It was.
So he worked at the one down on 19th. Okay.
Yeah.
Over by Costco or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. He wasn't there for long.
Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of some synchronicity because it got you guys here.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. He was with the company for 4 years before he moved up here. And then within a couple of months left the one here and started Grizzly Bear Lawn Care.
Got it. Cool.
I should bug him more about like someone had an idea for a food business that would sort of complement my business. I don't know if you were there when we were talking. I think if he's interested and wants to do anything with his culinary expertise, I think it could be.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I think it could. Anyway, it's just we've been saying we need to meet for weeks and talk, and it's everything. He's been busy. I've been busy. He's been helping me. It's like but anyway, it'll happen. How did your guys' life change when you guys got here?
I think like just everything changed, honestly. Like we opened up Grizzly Bear Lawn Care and have been doing that for a little over 2 years now, or just about to be 2 years. And then transitioned into a role as a therapist. So kind of learning the ropes of that. And then, and we had his sister here for a good bit, and we took care of her for a little while. And what else? And then got into jujitsu and continued aerial here. Found a pretty cool community here.
How soon did you guys start training at the gym, and what what conspired? Why?
Yeah, so it was maybe a year after we moved here, and Mike had been talking about wanting to join jiu-jitsu for as long as I've known Mike. And one day I was like, why don't you just go do it? Just go in there.
Shut
go
the
for
fuck up and just do it.
just do it. And finally he did it and he got hooked to it. And shortly after he talked to me about going, and I was a little skeptical about it just because, you think of jujitsu and you think of a bunch of sweaty guys rolling on the floor. And I was like, I'm a girl. I don't know how I feel about this. And I went in for one class because that's what I promised him. And I left that class signing up for like the whole deal.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I like this. This is good.
I like sweaty guys.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
You're either in or you're not.
You get used to it.
That's hilarious.
I told Brian when he did the podcast, as much fungus and everything else that's in that place, there's a smell when you walk in, and it's like for me it comforts me because
Yeah.
it gives me that. I remember it's associated with mostly after the first year good memories.
Yeah.
But just your friends and the community, and like I think that's what our bodies do, is they associate kind of smells with feelings. And I walk in there and I'm like, there's comfort, there's ease in there, and I don't know, it's very cool what that place does.
No kidding. It's like a little break too, like from everything going on in life.
Because you don't have your phone. You're not gonna. You're totally connected to being there. I remember that like the first time I went there, like so crazy. It's so much anxiety and nervousness about being there, and I'm gonna walk in here with a bunch of people that could kill me.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like you're like, oh, these are some of the nicest people I've ever connected with and become friends with in my life.
Oh yeah. And it feels like a lot of people there too want to grow, whether it's within jujitsu or it translates into their life and they want some sort of growth within their life. And so it's just really cool to be around people who just want to keep doing better for themselves.
Yeah, just like any gym, and even like a lot of sports and everything, you're usually people that are seeking out growth and challenge. Yeah. And that's generally a good environment to be in.
Oh yeah. I know that smell. It smells so good in there. It smells like home.
So gross. So gross. So much ringworm.
So much ringworm.
What's a day in the life like for a therapist?
Yeah.
That's a great question. Sorry if it's my opinion. Maybe you think it's a terrible one.
Yeah. So I guess it just kind of depends on the day and like the time of the year too. So like right now it's a lot more heavier, mostly because it's around the holidays. Typically holidays are associated with grief or family issues, or maybe just like being around family can be a lot. And so I've noticed around the holidays it can be kind of heavy. People tend to be a little bit more depressed or excited. Yeah, I work with all sorts of different areas, so kind of depends on the time of the year too. Around December or around winter time, it's typically a little bit more heavy in the sense of depression because of seasonal depression.
Mm-hmm.
And then like springtime, I work with a lot of kiddos who are getting ready to go off to college or just graduate high school and try to figure out what the hell do I do next and where do I go, as well as I also work with adults with grief, whether it's losing their child or losing a parent or just trying to figure out how the hell to parent or how the hell to find themselves, especially after their kids leave their nest.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's hard to describe it because it's different every day. And since life is so complicated and chaotic and beautiful, it looks all different ways depending on the day and depending on what's going on in everybody's life. But I think the thing that stays the same is the fact that I get this privilege and opportunity to create a space that's this safe space for people to come in and know that I'm not there to judge them, and I'm just there to support them in their journey however I can, and whatever that looks like for them. But I think I'm very privileged to be in the occupation that I am, because I get to see people in their rawest places in their life, and I get to see them for their true authentic self rather than trying to put on this facade or put on this face for other people. I just get to see them exactly how they are, exactly who they are in that moment, and I think it's pretty beautiful. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's so cool that you say that, because I know a few people that are their occupation is a therapist, and when they say that, just the way you just did, is it's a privilege. When in my mind, when I hear that, they and you as well, it sounds like you take your job so serious and you take that person so serious.
Yeah.
That is just cool to know that people feel like they kind of feel the responsibility and the, as you say, the privilege to, to,
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a heavy load though. You're in some sense, you're helping bear their burdens.
Yeah.
That was my question, is how do you manage that and deal with that? Because I'm sure that does not come at an easy cost of just kind of hearing people get to show up for an hour with you and tell you about the hardest parts of their life, and then look to you for some sort of solution.
Yeah. A lot of self-care, a lot of connecting with the things that make me happy. Also trying to not take on their burdens as well, because I can't show up in my best self if I'm taking on their pain as well. Like, I can be with them in that pain, but experiencing that pain is a little bit different.
How do you do that? Like, how do you almost like absorb it and then let it go?
Yeah.
Or maybe you don't absorb it. I don't know.
Yeah. I try not to absorb it.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it is a lot of self-awareness of where I'm at. So, like, if my personal life is feeling a little chaotic, being in tune with that and knowing that, okay, my life feels a little chaotic, how can I take care of myself so that I can show up better within this space with this person? As well as, like, we're all humans, so some things that I've been told have given me a reaction within my own body, and so being attuned with my own body and being like, ooh, that didn't feel right, or ooh, that feels really heavy.
It's like you're getting triggered based on what they're telling you.
A little bit, or my nervous system is having a reaction to it, and so
What are you, human?
Yeah, I know. Crazy, huh? But being like attuned to that and recognizing, oh, I'm feeling this right now. How can I either talk to somebody and get some consultation with like a coworker or supervisor or another therapist? And then also, what are some ways that I can release some of this energy that's being triggered in my own body and allow it to kind of stay with the client rather than carrying it with me? Yeah. It can be hard sometimes though, especially when there's so much happening, and like as a therapist, you care and you have a lot of love for your clients because you get to know them over a long period of time. And so, like, trying to take care of myself so I don't carry everything, because if I carry it, I'm not going to show up in the best way I can. And so,
But if you like, also if you, I'm thinking maybe if you
Disassociate, or just
or like if you deny it, then you're almost like not that helpful.
oh,
So there's like a
yeah.
balance.
Yeah, and I think I don't avoid it or deny it. I think I recognize it and I try to process it and allow it space rather than trying to push it away. Because if I can allow it some space and acknowledge it and acknowledge my feelings and acknowledge how it's impacting me, then it can allow me to essentially let it go or process it to be able to not carry it with me. Yeah.
Is that something that you more learn on your own, or is there techniques that they teach when you're getting this education of how to sort of balance any of that?
You kind of learn it on your own a little bit. There's not a whole lot about techniques and ways to practice self-care. I think Self-care was pretty ingrained in me within my training. But again, what does self-care look like? How do I know if I need self-care? And all of that kind of comes with learning and growing as a person and knowing where
What
I'm at.
does that look like for you?
Yeah, self-care looks like jujitsu, aerial, connecting with my community. Sometimes it's taking a cold shower right after work and washing it off.
That's a hell of a strategy.
Oh yeah.
Because you're like, my day's over, like, boom. I'm like, I'm good.
Yep.
Actually, the fact that it's cold too, you're
Yeah.
like that's sort of metaphorical that you're emotionally washing it off because you're shaking it out of your like, fuck, like because
Yep.
cold shower is as a cold shower feels. It's
Well, I was gonna say there's something about they do the saying "shake it off."
Oh yeah.
So like animals, when they go through trauma, they'll like they'll fucking shake, and then they'll be like, all right, cool, now they're all good.
Yep.
So like sometimes like deer, like they'll get hit by a car,
Yeah.
but they're fine, and like if they just kind of, I guess lightly, they're
yeah, I'm good.
They fucking shake it off,
Yeah.
and they fucking keep running, you know, and they're like, all right, that was fucking crazy. All right,
What are you
gotta
of?
go.
Yep.
What are you, a fucking Toyota Camry? Get the fuck out of here.
You know?
Deer.
I'm a deer, bitch.
Are you a hybrid?
So, so, anyway, so that's a great fucking strategy.
Yeah,
to like take a shower at the end of the day, like a cold shower, and be like, all right, I'm all good.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah.
remember that.
How did
I'm
you-
ready.
How did you fucking figure that out? You just did it one day and was like, I'm gonna keep doing this. I feel good.
Yeah, and then like through being a therapist and learning different techniques and strategies that could be helpful for other people, I started to implement those into my own life. So like cold showers, sour candies are another big one that can help your nervous system.
Sour candies?
Sour candy.
Okay, you gotta go into this explanation. Let me just eat a bunch of sugar.
Sour candy, sour anything really. So like if you put a lime or a lemon in your mouth too, it can have the same effect, especially if you're recognizing dysregulation in your body.
Where did you learn this?
I was gonna say I've talked to plenty of therapists and I've never heard this. What
really?
the fuck?
So okay,
Yeah.
I want to dive into this.
Okay.
Like, okay. So you're saying that like you're noticing that like you're uncomfortable or something's not sitting right, and so you like cut up a fucking lime and go.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It'll help regulate.
Please
Yeah.
go into detail. This is fucking cool.
But like the shock can help reset yourself because then you're very in the present, in the now and here. Like you're experiencing the sourness in your mouth. You're not thinking about what you were spiraling about. And that can be enough to reset your regulation, your emotional regulation. So like get you out of it.
Interesting.
This is the most renounding shit I've ever heard.
I'm gonna
in my
start.
life.
I'm gonna start carrying limes in my pocket.
Yeah,
lime,
that's
sour
so-
candy.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't know if Mike had like this is a lot of Andrew Huberman stuff, but I don't know if Mike told you where I was telling him that I just went to the Tony Robbins
Oh
thing
yeah.
with
That's
my
so
girlfriend,
cool.
and that he was so big on physiology,
Yeah.
changing your state, and this perfectly parallels with that because you're you're using your body to manipulate or persuade, whatever you want to call it, your emotions and your state of being.
Yep.
This makes complete sense. That's so cool.
Yeah. Isn't it? Want to
Yeah.
hear a couple other ones?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Chewing on ice, that's another one that can be helpful. If it's cold outside, just walking outside, putting your hand in snow, that can help with regulation. Smells, so lavender, things that are more comforting, feeling, petting your dog, petting your cat, petting something soft too can help your regulation system. You brought up the shaking one. That one works really well in like the somatic way. So like if you're feeling dysregulated, literally shaking out all of those nerves can help in bringing yourself back down. As well as like the normal things of like meditation, breathing.
Do you know about EMDR?
I do.
That stuff's interesting.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I have some friends who practice it and they say a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, the tapping
Yeah,
is interesting.
super interesting. I wish I could talk about it, but I don't know much about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
The smell makes sense too, because
yeah.
actually when I first moved here to Bozeman, I had done, when I lived in Washington, I had done some hot yoga classes, but
Oh
I'd
yeah.
never in my life done just a regular run of the mill
Yoga.
Latter Day Saints yoga class.
Me either.
So I went to this place here off the cuff, and I'm like, yeah, let me give this a go. And they're like, really, just the woman is pretty cool that runs the place, and it's not open anymore, but she's just kind of fun. Like, she's a good vibe.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, it's $30 and you get 30 days. You can come as much as you want. And I'm like, all right. So I do it. And I'm like, oh, that I feel better after. Cool. I feel good. And then I do it again the second day. I'm like, yeah, I feel really good. And I was in my head, fuck it. I'll just do all 30 days. I might as
yeah.
well. And being the addict that I am, I did. And I do the 30 days and it's great. And I feel great after. And now if I ever go, which isn't too often these days, but if I ever go do a yoga class, that the sort of smell and the vibe, like it's kind of like lavenders and hippies is like
Patchouli.
yeah. That it's always like the general vibe. And I'm like, oh, like it immediately brings me a sense of peace, because I've associated the two things, because you feel pretty peaceful and relaxed after a yoga class.
Yeah.
And the smell. So I think that makes total sense when you're saying the smell can change your state.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Those are good.
Having something heavy in your lap can like trick your brain into feeling grounded. Yeah.
I swear I've probably like 95% of these I've never heard before.
Now you have.
Yeah. Look at this. What are you, so you guys are, do you and Mike have any massive plans for the future? What are you guys trying to do? What do you got? I mean, you just, obviously you're on it, like you're starting something really exciting. So it sounds like you're in it right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So just continuing with businesses. I don't know how big I want Hyalite counseling to be. I don't think I want it very big though. I want it very like small and intimate. And that's not till like maybe a year or 2 years out until I hire somebody else. I definitely want to get my feet on the ground a little bit first. And so there's that. And then continuing Grizzly Bear Lawn Care. That's a lot bigger than where we started, which is super exciting. And it's really awesome to watch it grow. And then, hopefully getting into some investing, whether that's real estate investing or investing more in businesses, but just kind of growing what we have and learning more and trying to figure out more ways on how to make our money work for us and have more time to just choose what we do with it rather than having to be at certain places for certain things. Yeah, but I think even with all of that, I can see myself being a therapist for as long as I can because I love what I do. But yeah, I really love business and I love money and I love investments. So not like love money, like of course I love money, but
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to
statement.
So interesting. I don't know. Like it's like our generation has been like taught to like not fucking enjoy money or like it, or it's like evil.
Yeah,
and it's not. Like money's not evil.
No, not at all. And like, yes,
like you can be rich, really, really rich, and be a really nice, great person.
Oh yeah,
you can do both.
Oh yeah. Not every rich person is a bad person,
right?
Yeah. I love money, and I love learning about it, and I love learning about growing things, and also like the processes of growing things. I love that. And where was I going with this?
I guess what you guys were doing, or what you guys are planning on doing.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what they're planning on doing.
Yeah, I mean, like, you were saying growing your, being a counselor and growing that business, or.
Oh yeah. And like the systems we have in place in terms of like government and money and taxes and all that stuff, like I understand why people have an icky feeling thinking about it. And if the system's there, might as well learn how to not play the system, but like work with the system to help it benefit you and people that you care about. So
yeah, there's incentives in place.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's incentives in place to be an employee. There's also incentives in place to be an owner.
Oh yeah.
They're different incentives.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's almost funny and interesting. There's so many, like, yeah, I don't even know the term though. Like, it's not manipulate, but it's like systems are made to be worked.
Mm-hmm.
And you like, it's just a lack of information. And when you have the right information, I don't know, no one just walks around and freely tells you this stuff.
No.
Sometimes you would think you hire, agents, ex insurance agent, accountant, any of the above, and sometimes you would think they'd be like, hey, you could like do this and like.
Well, let's just say you make $25 an hour, right? If you make $25 an hour as an employee, okay, then you make $25 an hour as your own company. Well, just based on the write-offs that you're going to get, which are legal, 100% legal, and as they should be, like, you're going to make way more money if you're just making the same amount like across the board, right? Because you're going to deduct a huge amount of taxes because you can.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, it doesn't really matter what value it is. It's $100,000, minus all of your expenses, right? Versus if you're an employee and you make $100,000, you pay way more in taxes.
Oh yeah.
And so like that's just it's a system that's set up, and that's so like there's incentives to do both.
Yep.
And so you pick and choose as your life fits. Sometimes it makes sense to be an employee.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it makes sense to be on your own.
Yeah, I guess what I was kind of saying is, even as an employee or as a business owner, like there's still stuff you can write off, like for your taxes in both situations. And I'm just saying, it would be nice if some like accountants would let you know this stuff,
right?
And you kind of have to really look for this information, and
a lot of the accountants don't even know.
I know, and that's what I mean. But like you just have to work and be savvy and talk to people and network. Next thing you know, you've found a way to take $5,000 of taxes off your annual income.
Yeah.
And there's within every,
which means that's $3,000 in your pocket.
Yeah, within every system
right?
we've created,
like $5,000.
Yeah.
Boom, taking that off. Okay, cool. Then I just saved $3,000.
Yep.
So to what you were saying,
you just got yourself a $3,000 raise.
Yeah. To what you were saying, there's so much in all these systems. There's so many avenues that you can find that can make your life make so much more sense. And I think it's probably back to being vulnerable and asking people for help.
Oh yeah.
And reaching out and like the way you and Mike do is you help bring people together. Mike invited me to the investor group. I invited Kyle.
My brother just met with what's the main guy?
Pat.
He met with Pat for like the third time. So it's like helped my brother.
So yeah, Kyle's invited his brother.
Yeah.
I was at 2 days ago at the airport waiting for a client, and I hear, "Hey Tim," and I look and it's Pat. I'm like, "Hey Pat, what's going on?" I'm like, I love this community. This is so much fun where I just run into people I know, and but this is all like coming full circle to what you're saying is finding out all this stuff about business. But I don't know, it's the people you get to meet along the way.
Oh yeah. The journey's the best part, man.
Yeah. So it's just so cool.
Where did this positivity come from?
What are you?
Where'd you get
still
on?
those
what
drugs?
The hell?
What?
How did you get
What
this?
drugs are you still on?
You're so positive and it's so cool. But like, when did you? How? Like, when did you learn that this was the path for you? Because it seems like you're just running on positivity, which is awesome. It's a good reminder.
Oh yeah.
Over here giving compliments to Mike and shit. It's fucking stupid.
Gimping around on his broken leg.
I know. Thank you. I think the positivity comes with the things that you learn along the way, especially when you experience hard and you experience challenging things. You start to learn to kind of really appreciate and be grateful for all of the good things that are happening in your life. And sometimes shit gets rough and shit gets hard, and you just kind of got to roll with it. And you can either be miserable in it, which is okay, make space for all the misery, and it's also kind of your choice
Make
to
space for all the misery.
You can also enjoy whatever it is around you that you're grateful for, whether it's the people or or the fact that, I don't know, you have some sort of stability in some area in your life. But things work out, and they work out how sometimes they should. And if they don't, then it's a good learning opportunity to grow and move with it and flow with it. And then you'll look back and be like, holy shit, I did that, and keep going.
What podcasts and books do you listen to that have influenced that thinking?
I am not quite sure. The books that I've read a lot of different
Or where
books.
do you think you picked this up? Is really the question. I'm assuming it's podcasts and books, but that's a bad assumption, maybe.
I'm honestly looking back, I don't really know. It's always been something people have commented on for as long as I can remember. So I'm not sure where it comes from.
Okay.
It's been there for a while.
How long?
Maybe since since I was like 14, 15. Yeah.
That's because you were taking care of yourself?
No.
No? Okay.
I was being completely avoidant of all life's stuff, but
okay.
I tried to find the good in wherever the good was.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you didn't find it in books and podcasts. You just found it in yourself.
I think so, yeah. And then books and podcasts have definitely helped in just maintaining that and growing with
Any
it.
favorites would come to mind?
The Go-Giver is a good one.
Just finished it.
Yeah, it's a good
So
book,
good.
isn't it?
Yeah, so good. I want to listen to it again. I listened to the audiobook.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
That's a really good book. Yeah, The Go-Giver.
How long does it take to listen to it?
It's like 3 hours.
Yeah,
okay,
it's not
cool.
long at all.
Is it over 5 hours? Because I don't really know if it's worth my time, Vicky. If it's under...
No, I just... I'm not...
Don't worry, the 13-hour books intimidate me too.
No, I just didn't know. Like, it's, you know.
Yeah.
It's good to know. Yeah. Kind of endeavor I want to get into here.
Yeah.
We're still working through some stuff.
I'm going to listen to it tonight.
It's a good one. You'll like it, I think. I hope you like it.
Okay, The Go-Giver.
Yeah, The Go-Giver. What other things? The podcasts I listen to are definitely not about positivity. They're mostly like educational stuff. So like Ken McElroy with the real estate podcast. Listen to him. Robert Kiyosaki. I can't say his last name. I listen to his podcast a lot. Yeah, those are the two main podcasts. I listen to Joe Rogan.
Shout out to Bro Jogan.
Oh, he has some pretty good guests on there. I really like it.
Yeah, he has great guests on there.
And then the books I read are mostly also very real estate investment, money oriented. But yeah, I think it's mostly the people who I surround myself with that has probably the biggest impact. Once I shifted gears into who I was around and who I spent my time with and included in my life, I noticed that I became happier and more at peace with who I am and more secure with who I am too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was probably the biggest influence, the people.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gangster.
Oh. But
what else?
You want to wrap it up here?
Let's wrap it up. It's been almost 2 hours.
Dang, we've been talking for almost 2 hours.
It's 5:00.
Dang.
Vicky, it's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. This is great.
Awesome. It's been awesome.
Yeah, thank you.